take projection.
Welcome everybody to Taking On Sports. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. Uh, you know, it's actually a kind of a decently cool day here in Birmingham, which probably means we're going to about to get rocked by storms here in the next few days. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we are
What?
here, of course, with our second college football preview episode. Today we'll be focusing on the Big Ten plus 8. If you've listened to our preview episodes in the past, you'll know that we, for the power conferences, we'll do basically 3 tiers. We'll talk about our contenders, guys that we know definitely can push for the conference title. Then we have a wild card tier, which is a little bit of like, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Could be good, could be bad. Season could swing in either way. And then, of course, we have our basement dwellers. Guys that we
Right.
absolutely know aren't challenging for the conference title this year. With that in mind, let's start. Big Ten. I have 3 definite contenders, and then we can maybe talk if you want to add a couple more, 1 or 2 more. We'll start with the defending national champs, of course, Ohio State.
Sure.
The Buckeyes do have a lot to replace, but they're Ohio State. Still got Caleb Downs back there anchoring the secondary. Still Jeremiah Smith catching passes. Still a lot of blue chippers, a lot of 4 and 5 star talent on that roster. Of course, Julian
Absolutely.
Sands steps up, probably going to win the quarterback job, I imagine, this season. Highly touted freshman, of course, former Alabama commit.
Right.
He never was officially on the team, right? Or
He had committed, but then they
yeah,
got what's the
I
name, and then
think
he
after
transferred out. So
was it after
he
Saban's
never.
retirement too that he flipped to Ohio State? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That had something to do with it,
Austin
and then we
Mack.
brought in
Yeah.
the guy from Washington. I can't think of his name right now. And that, yeah,
Yeah,
Austin
he
Mack, and that
of
kind
course,
of
like I
was the
said, highly
last
touted
thing, and
guy.
he left out.
Take over the reins, redshirted last year.
Absolutely.
A lot of eyes on him, but like we said, still got Jeremiah Smith to throw the ball to, so it's not too bad for a young quarterback. Still,
Right. Yeah, but it's still a young guy. There'll be some hiccups, along the way. Of course, straight out the gate. I mean, we get 2 new guys
yeah, right.
in there: Julian Sand, Arch Manning,
Yeah,
week
that's gonna be
1,
great. Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
that schedule right there. That's,
I
I
mean that's
mean,
the
yeah,
way to
that's a hell of
start
a
your
way to
career.
start. You mentioned big one, Texas, in the horseshoe. It'll be a lot of fun. I love that scheduling.
Yeah,
Let's talk about their schedule for a second. Actually, now that we have, after that, of course, there are other 2 non-conference scrambling in Ohio, both at home. Nothing there to get a bye week 4, and then they have some
right. That's
potentially really tricky road games on the schedule this year. They'll go at Washington, at Illinois,
that's
at
interesting.
Wisconsin. That's all in, a 4-week span. Minnesota home game is
Yeah.
sandwiched there between Washington and Illinois. They do have at Purdue, which who cares? That's not a challenge. and then, of course, they close the regular season in the Big House up at Ann Arbor in Michigan. Yeah,
That's
exactly. That's
gonna.
been their curse now, 4 in a row. Lost to the Wolverines, and we'll get to them in a minute too. But they do, of course, get Penn State at home November 1st. That's the big one. No Oregon on the schedule this year. Yeah.
No Oregon. Yeah, that's
No
good.
Indiana.
No Oregon. No.
But yeah, let's talk about some of those road games. That stretch from September 27th through October 18th. Really, that's
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you go to
mm-hmm,
Seattle, and who knows how good Washington will be this year. I mean, they were kind of up and down last year.
mm-hmm.
We'll see what Jeb Fish does in his second year there. But they do have a good. They have a quarterback. Their quarterback that took over. After the Mississippi State transfer got hurt, he looks like he's yeah. Seattle, if they're on, that's a loud stadium.
Yeah,
Husky
like I said, they're
Stadium is loud,
potentially
so
tricky,
that'll be
especially for
interesting.
a younger quarterback, a team that's replacing a fair
Right.
amount of guys. Yeah, it's
That's your first road test too.
that could be real tricky. Then
Yeah.
we mentioned they come
So,
home from Minnesota. Minnesota always, of course, well coached team.
right,
They should be favored and should win that game at home. But then
right.
at Illinois, who hey, tough one
One,
there.
two. Yeah. And Illinois is kind of the darling of the
Mm-hmm.
team that everybody's real high on this year. I had a pretty good 24 season there. A lot of people have
Mm-hmm.
them as a Big Ten contender this year. I mean, they got their quarterback back. They ended the season well, beat South Carolina in the bowl game, and
Mm-hmm.
people are really high on the Illini going into 25. So, yeah. I mean, not really the toughest place to play in. I mean, no, I don't really consider, the hostile environment per
Yeah.
se, but if they're winning, you never know. So, yeah, should be a,
Ooh,
if both
huge.
teams
Yeah.
go into that game undefeated,
And
that
then
would
you have
be
next week at
crazy.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Camp Randall always a tough
Yeah.
time for guys and opponents, and then you have.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we just know the history of Camp Randall. I mean, and if Wisconsin can ever get it figured out with, the first two years under Luke Fickle hasn't been exactly the prettiest, but if he can
Yeah,
figure it
no, for
out
sure.
there,
That's
there could be
it's
interesting.
just a tricky stretch, and then they get the bye week, and then Penn State at home. Um, that could if
Yeah,
they lose one, two of those games, how does that affect them going down the stretch? Say say they lose to Texas to open the
right.
year. I mean, is it possible that
Exactly.
they're at 3 losses going into
Yeah.
November? And what? Yeah, in which case they have
Oh,
to
that'd be
sweep it. Yeah.
wild. But that's because I mean, yeah, they'd have to run the schedule. Because two, I'm sure still gets them in.
Mm-hmm.
And their two losses are still in the playoff. They get that third loss, and they're probably looking like Alabama, Ole
Mm-hmm.
Miss, and
Yeah.
South Carolina a year ago on
And
the
you would,
outside,
yeah, and you would
looking
think
in
it's
more than
unthinkable
likely.
that Ohio State could miss a 12-team playoff. But hey, man, here you go. I tell you what, if that does
Hey,
happen, then good lord, they
so-
are going to be harping for that automatic qualifier shit so hard.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did all. I mean, the Big Ten media days, this whole talking season. That's all the Big
Uh,
Ten was talking about.
I was about to say, yeah,
Only
that, and I'm
shooting
so
shots at
happy
the
that the
SEC.
SEC
I
came to
mean,
their
but
senses and
I
realized
mean,
how dumb that was. Not I don't agree with Greg Sankey on much, but
yeah,
I'm glad he got to that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's all about the 5-11. So I'm with him there. But the other interesting thing with Ohio State is, I mean, they're still, but a new offensive coordinator. They brought, Brian
Mm-hmm.
Hartline moving up from wide receiver coach, hell of a recruiter. But first time as
Mm-hmm.
offensive coordinator, replacing
And
Chip
big,
Kelly. That's a big change. I mean, Chip Kelly, an experienced play caller. Brian Hartline, a great receivers coach, great recruiter at his time in
no, yeah,
Columbus. But that's a big step
new
up,
coordinators on both sides of the
going to
balls
be that
too.
good play
So
caller.
that's
Yeah, new
it's something
defensive coordinator
that's
too.
not
Yeah,
we'll
so
see.
that's
Ohio State, Ryan Day, kind of getting that Alabama Nick Saban treatment right there, where it's a product of how good
yeah,
you are. Is it hey
tricky.
your guys are going to get poached, and Chip Kelly back in the NFL now, and
Right.
what's his face went over to Penn State.
Yeah,
They jacked their defensive coordinator. So yeah, it's gonna
that's
be
wild.
interesting, man. It's definitely an interesting season for the Buckeyes.
Right. But they did it. And but who did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
and that
Matt
is
Patricia.
so
Interesting.
weird and interesting to me that that's
I mean, he's good. He's been a good defensive coach. But yeah, well, I mean, when was the
yeah,
last time he was
that's
ever involved in college?
really
I
weird to
mean,
me. Um,
I don't know.
let's move on. Unless you got anything else on Ohio State, let's move on to Penn State.
Yeah,
This, I think, for Penn State this year is, if not now, then when. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I think a lot of
it's
people are thinking that way.
you know, sorry, I'm struggling to find the words here, but they have Drew Aller's back, Nickel Singleton's back, yeah, both running backs back,
Both running
great
backs.
line, they have,
They They actually and they did good finding what
hmm
receivers in the transfer portal. That was their big thing last year. Is their
yeah, if they,
receiver room kind of sucked. I mean, it was all about the tight end, and the receiver room was trash. They hit the portal well with that.
hmm
The defense should be awesome. I mean, they got as you mentioned, Ohio State's defensive coordinator. Not that that was a problem for Penn State. I
hmm
mean, their defense was pretty elite last year. I
yeah,
mean,
of course, did that
so I mean, that
because
just should
their
make
old
it even
defensive
better.
coordinator Tom
I
Allen
mean,
went
they
down to
did
Clemson. But yeah, this is
Clemson,
they're
right?
stacked. They're experienced. They do lose Abdul Carter, of course, but they're so they gotta
Right.
replace that quarterback pressure. But man, this is a stacked roster. It's as good as a team as James
Yeah.
Franklin's ever had there. Um, it-
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things. If they don't do it, it's kind of like Ohio State
mhm,
last year. Everybody's like, well, they got to win. I mean, they're just the most stacked team in college football. This is Penn State's time. I mean, if James Franklin does not win in 2025, like you said, it may never happen. I mean, this is his best opportunity.
mhm. No, absolutely. Yeah, this is it. This is like 2019 LSU almost. Like, you don't have Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar
And,
Chase and
and
Justin
let's go,
Jefferson, but you have it's all breaking for you right now.
and let's look at their schedules. Actually,
Hmm
I mean, they're out of conference as a freaking joke. Nevada, Florida International, and Villanova
Yeah, it's
start the
laughable.
season. Yeah. Then they get, I mean, interesting game, September 27th, Oregon, but that is the home, so that's huge. I mean,
Hmm
you get Happy Valley, the Ducks there. First road game. You don't go on the road to October 4th. That's crazy.
Yeah, good
And
scheduling.
then you're going to at UCLA. I mean, UCLA, a lot of questions, of course. New quarterback, Nico out there, but the Rose Bowl hardly a tough. No one's scared to go to the Rose Bowl. I mean, let's be
hmm
honest. There probably as many Penn State fans, if not more, out there. um,
No, yeah, that's not a daunting road game.
Now Northwestern. I mean, that should be really their interesting game, middle of the thing before the Notre Dame. No, excuse me, before Ohio State. Depending on what Iowa looks like, mid-October they go to Iowa City. If somehow
Hmm
that's a night game, watch out, because some crazy things have happened in Iowa City at night. But
hmm
that's interesting there. October 18th.
Yeah, and then that November it's no slouch.
No,
It
it's not.
starts at Ohio State.
We know
They
James
follow
Franklin's
that up with
problems against the
exactly,
Buckeyes.
especially in Columbus. Yeah, it's
Yes.
and then they get Indiana the next week at home.
Yeah.
Then at Michigan State, which Spartans aren't. They're down a little bit, but
Yeah.
that's a rivalry game. It's
And they're
still.
they're trying to build back up. Yeah.
Hmm And then you get Nebraska at
Nebraska.
home. Who knows what Nebraska looks like by then? And then at Rutgers into season should be
Yeah.
a win. But yeah, that
In
it's
November,
set up for them. It's
yeah,
set up. No Michigan, no Indiana, or no Illinois. Excuse me. You get Oregon at
Oregon at
home.
home.
Hmm You
I
get a
mean,
bye before Ohio State.
yeah. I mean, November's tough, but I mean, we don't know if is Indiana going to be anywhere like they were last year. Who knows? No, everybody's looking at Indiana this year. No one's going to be surprised by Indiana. Everybody's going to take them serious. So,
Yeah,
I mean, no
yeah.
one's
It,
going to
it, it
sleep on Indiana this year at all. So, I mean,
could be a tough month. It could be a
yeah,
cakewalk. Depending. You
depending
don't
on how
know.
things go. There's a lot
Yeah,
we don't
but
know about the November schedule. But at Ohio State, I mean, I don't care where that game's played until James Franklin actually wins that game. I'm going with the Buckeyes. I don't care if they came into that game 1-6, going
mhm.
Buckeyes until James Franklin proves me otherwise.
No, yeah, and that's absolutely fair.
Um,
But yeah, this is it. This is the year for
this is their
Penn
year.
State. I
Absolutely,
mean,
they'll do it.
Phil Phil Steele has picked them to win it all in his preview. I'm sure a lot of the other previews, a lot of people are going to pick them up, seeing them. They're up there.
Absolutely.
Every one. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's now or never.
You would have to think that that's their next step. I mean, they made the Big Ten title game this past year, lost to Oregon, made the semifinals of the playoffs. Probably should have beat Notre Dame, honestly. Drew Aller, terrible, terrible last series. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, but I mean, yeah, there's no excuses this year, and the Penn State technically hadn't won a title since what, '86?
I believe so, yeah.
Because I mean, of course, they
Of course,
went undefeated in '94, but no one
yeah.
recognized them as a national champ. So everybody gave
Yeah, deserved
Penn State,
to split that
yeah,
year with
it's
Nebraska,
more,
probably.
yeah,
But
yeah. They have not been
or
recognized since '86 when they beat Miami. So it's been a while.
yeah, crazy.
It's
It
been since
has.
2016 that they won the Big Ten as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
oof.
Yeah. And of course, that didn't even, that's the year that they didn't even make the playoff. Ohio State, a team they beat, got in over them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that
yeah,
was, it
man.
was a bad
Yeah,
loss, too. That
'cause
I
they
think they
had
got blown out by
did
Michigan or
they? I
something
think
one
what they
year.
had two losses, and Ohio State they had just had that one, I think. So,
Yeah.
right.
Let's move on to the third team in our contender tier. Last year's Big Ten champs, the Oregon Ducks. Of course, came in, ran the table on everybody. Big win at home over Ohio State. Very impressive regular season. Not as impressive of a Rose Bowl. But still.
Impressive regular season. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm
but I
sure
mean that was the
the
toughest ninth
Bucks
seed you
really,
could have
or
ever
excuse me,
played
the
in your
Ducks
life,
really wish
or
that they
eighth
had this
seed.
year's scheduling. Or this year's seeding. But speaking of scheduling, actually,
Oh, absolutely,
non-conference Montana State, Oklahoma State, Oregon State,
absolutely.
get Civil War early in the year, and then right after that, of course, at Penn State, September 27th. Other than that, there's some, yeah, no, they get Indiana at home, they get Wisconsin at
Oof,
home, and they have to go to Rutgers. That's not too daunting. They do have to go
not a
at
terrible
Iowa on
schedule.
November 8th, so that could be cold. Like we talk about, yeah, it depends where Iowa's at that point. That could be a real tricky one. Then they get Minnesota, USC at home, and they end the
Interesting.
season up in Seattle with their rival Washington, of course. Absolutely, but that's
So
scheduled with no
that could be a
Michigan,
very
no
interesting game,
Ohio
depending on where
State,
both teams
no
are at that point
Illinois.
in the season.
Uh,
Wow.
that's it's set up for them to have another, at least at the very least, it seems like if they don't
Yeah.
get an at-large bid to the playoff, then
Wow.
they something has gone really wrong.
I mean, you would have to think. Yeah. Yeah. Or they lose it. If they don't make it, they'll be. I would expect right there, kind of in that 9-3. Yeah. Do they get in? We're arguing. You know. But yeah, they're should very much be a contender, of course. New quarterback there. Dante Moore will be the quarterback. I mean, he's been around
Yeah,
college
yeah, he's
football
a
for a while,
UCLA
but
guy.
really hasn't played much. He started his career at UCLA, I believe. Played his
He,
rookie year,
he certainly has the talent.
and had ups and
And he's
downs,
got
but
he can
UCLA now you find
dual
him.
threat guy.
So
But yeah, it'll be up there. He'll have
absolutely,
some weapons for sure. No Winton at running back, Malik Benson out there receiver, former Bama guy. Yeah, and defense,
yep.
tough. We know they'll be tough under
And their
Dan
defense
Lanning.
is supposed to be nasty this year.
So again, like I said, I fully expect them to be in the conversation, even if they don't win. Like I said, if they don't get an at-large bid,
Absolutely.
if they don't get an at-large bid this year, then something went terribly,
I mean, it's
terribly
looking like a
wrong.
10-2 type team. I would think.
But yeah, all right. So that is all I
Yeah.
actually have in my contenders here, but I'll leave it open for discussion. The two teams right there on the borderline, Michigan in Illinois and maybe Indiana. Do you want to make an argument to put either Michigan or Illinois in the contender tier, or do you think they're good at wild card? Okay.
I'm good leaving them at wild card. Brett, anytime Brett Bielema gets any hype, he falls flat on his
All
face.
right.
It's happened several times. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, well,
And
let's start with the
Michigan has a
Wolverines
lot of
then as we
questions
move into
coming
our
into
wild
this year.
card tier, which is going to be a lot of teams here. But yeah, Michigan, I think the big question is, they obviously had to replace so much on offense last year. This year they get a lot of guys back. But, the big thing there is Bryce Underwood the real deal? Because it looks like he's going to be the guy there, true freshman quarterback in the Big Ten. That could be rough.
From the go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alabama transfer Justice Haynes running the ball there. I think that's a great pickup for them. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's all about can they make the leap and improve from last year, and is Bryce Underwood the real deal?
Yeah. Right. Basically they have to build off momentum that they ended the season with. I mean, beating Ohio State, beating Alabama. I mean, that's an excellent way to end the season, despite everything not looking good for a lot of the season. A hell of a way to end your season. They got the able to outbid LSU for the quarterback. So I mean, that's huge in itself. I mean, they have their barstool money there. So I mean, they're be deep in the NIL game. It's a matter of can they put it all together. Um, and then also, their coach, he experienced his first year as a true head coach. I mean, that's big shoes to fill. I mean, honestly, I mean, even people say, well, he coached, yeah, but Harbaugh was setting everything up going into those weeks when he was
Yeah,
suspended. So he was kind of the mouthpiece. Last year was his true first time as a head coach. Come into a situation, take over for somewhat of a legend in Jim Harbaugh, coming off a national title, not an easy spot to come into. This is his. Now it's really his team. We'll find out what his identity it really is as a head coach, and see where it goes for him. I don't know. I mean, obviously they have proud history. They expect winning. Do they give him the patience if he
yeah.
doesn't have another good season? Who knows?
No, for sure. And
But it'd
the
be
schedules,
interesting.
it's a little bit of good and bad. They do avoid Oregon, Penn State, Illinois, and Indiana in the regular season.
Yep.
That's a good.
Yep.
Some tricky road games. They go at Oklahoma week 2. You look Oklahoma there, yeah. That's
Yeah, it could be
interesting.
that's a huge game.
At Nebraska, September 20th. Again, we'll see what both teams are made
Yeah,
of. That could be a
that could
big
be
telling game. At USC,
right.
October 11th. Flying out west. That's
Absolutely.
always a tricky one. And then
Who knows?
and they go down to East
USC will be
Lansing for rival Michigan State. That's always you never know what's going to happen in that rivalry too. But other than that,
right.
like I said, they avoid a lot of those big names. They get Ohio State at home this year.
Yep. At
It
home.
would not surprise me if
Absolutely.
Bryce Underwood plays as well, or if they tailor the offense to protect him, and he just makes some plays with his talent.
Right. I think the main thing is they're gonna set it up so it's gonna be an easy offense as long as he's not throwing bad interceptions. I think it's not gonna be. They're not gonna put him into a situation where they expect him to carry the team. He's gonna should be put into a nice spot where the offense, tailor to his strengths. They're gonna do what works best for him. Stay away from what doesn't work, and kind of and not put too much on him because that's a lot as a true freshman. I don't care how great you were, how touted you are, 5-star. That's big. As a true freshman coming into that type of pressure and such a big program, man, that's
No,
it's
yeah,
hard to
absolutely. It's
imagine.
a lot of pressure on that kid, and how he performs this year.
Absolutely.
But this is a team that if they did slide
Right.
into an at-large bid, wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Wouldn't
But let's.
it? It would not. But at the same
Yeah.
time, who knows? I mean, they're one of those teams you could see a lot of good, but yeah, there's some interesting games. But I think we'll learn a lot about both Michigan and OU in that
Mm-hmm.
September 6th matchup because a lot of disappointment for both last season. So we'll see what
Yeah. For
2025
sh-
brings for both. But
for
that should
sure.
be an awesome game.
Let's
And
move on
women,
to that other team we're talking about. Illinois, like you said, it's when the expectations have been on Brett, not always hasn't always come through. But man, 19 returning starters, including Luke Altmaier at quarterback.
yeah, yeah,
Man, it's almost like Penn State. It's a very if not now then when. This is absolutely a team that could win a couple games and contend for the Big Ten. They
absolutely.
absolutely
The
could.
schedule's not
No,
terrible.
yeah, they absolutely could sneak into the playoff. You mentioned that schedule's not
Hmm.
terrible. They get Ohio State at home, and they
Yep.
avoid. There's no Penn
They
State.
avoid
There's no Michigan. There's no
Oregon.
Oregon. They do have to go to Washington in October, and then to Wisconsin,
To Wisconsin.
and then to Indiana September 20th. That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
That's a big first Big Ten game right
yeah.
there.
That'd be interesting for
Yeah.
both because I think we're seeing if Illinois is a true
Mm-hmm.
contender, and B, we're gonna find out is Indiana, was that a fluke?
Mm-hmm.
Can Signetti is as good as it showed last
Mm-hmm.
year? So that'll be very interesting. Um, but it may go a little under the radar right now, but September 6th at
Mm-hmm.
Duke. I think that'll be an interesting game because we saw Manny Manny Diaz had Duke looking really good last
Mm-hmm.
year. They got the quarterback from Tulane in there. So we will see. That may, I don't think a lot of people might be looking at that game, but that could be a very interesting game. If Illinois, you know, wins that, it makes it look good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that could really let us know something about the Illini, but that may be a tougher game than what it may look on paper.
Yeah, for sure. That could be one of those sneaky good week 2 games. You're not expecting to do
Absolutely.
anything, and then you kind of turn it on whatever time slot it's in and go, oh, hey,
Right.
hey now.
Yeah, I mean, it's an 11 a.m. game,
Oh,
so,
there you go.
weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they get at Purdue. They get Rutgers, Maryland, Northwestern, all at home. They're 4 wins right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's the potential is there for like another 10-win season. They had last year their 3 losses were at Penn State, okay, at Oregon,
Hmm.
okay, and then Minnesota at home, which they were underdogs in that game too technically. So
Right.
yeah,
Not terrible losses. I mean, two you
no, yeah.
would have expected them to lose to, and of course they won one of those during the playoff last year with the 10-2
Mm-hmm.
record.
And
So
ended the season with
wow,
a Citrus Bowl win over everybody's darling South
South
Carolina. Yeah,
Carolina,
so
absolutely
it's
would come out that huge Clemson win, and so
it's definitely
yeah,
set up to be maybe the best season for the Illini since that Rose Bowl run, the
with
Juice
Juice
Williams years.
Williams,
Yeah,
yeah,
but if they can get back-to-back 10-win seasons, you can't
that's
overstate how
that's huge.
huge that is at
I
this
mean
program. Yeah.
it's been a lot of famine as far on the football side. They have
Mm-hmm.
history, but it's been a lot more famine than feasts in
For
Champaign.
sure.
um, long term. So yeah, that would be huge. Even if they don't make the playoffs, if they could get 9 in a bowl win, that get to 10 that way. And if they make the
Mm-hmm.
playoff, I mean that goes down as for sure probably the best season that we've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
at least since I've been alive. And that's 41 plus years.
Yeah.
So
Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely there, and I think those 2 teams, Illinois and then Michigan, are definitely the cream of the crop of the wild card tier that we're
right.
looking at here.
But I will say, with the way Brett Belimon likes to talk, man, he'll put a target on
Mm-hmm.
his team's back. because he does not shy away from crazy comments.
No, yeah, yeah, him and Kurt Signetti, they're not afraid to
I
talk
like
that
to
talk.
talk.
But yeah, and speaking
Yeah.
of which, let's talk about those Hoosiers, Indiana. Of course, the best year in school history last year. Kirk Signetti comes in,
Oh,
gets a bunch
that's
of
far.
transfers in there, wins 11 games,
Hmm.
makes the playoff. Um,
Yep.
they get back 16 starters this year. Um,
Hmm.
do have a new quarterback, but it's a good one. Fernando Mendoza from Cal. You know,
Those
it's a
from
great
Cal.
pick. Schedule wise, though, they're
Absolutely.
not going to get that easy schedule this year that they got last year. Of course, their usual laughably easy,
Cakewalk.
yeah,
Yeah.
of the non-conference. You know, they
But
opened Old
but
Dominion,
that Big
Kennesaw, and
Ten,
Indiana
the
State.
Kennesaw,
Yeah,
and
that Big Ten
yeah,
schedule. You know, home for Illinois.
right away smacks them right in the
Yeah,
mouth.
then
Illinois at Iowa at
oof,
Oregon.
yeah, Michigan State, UCLA, then at Maryland, at Penn State, and you end with Wisconsin, and then
Mm.
at rival Purdue on the road, which again, you know, that
Right.
should be a
Sure,
win,
man.
but you
But
know, it's Purdue. You know, it's a rivalry. You know, you
yeah.
just don't know sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, we definitely don't. You know, it doesn't look like they're going to reach the highs of
Last year.
last year, but
But realistically, I mean, even if Indiana goes 8-4 in Indiana football history, that's a hell of a year.
I mean, yeah, I mean, last year's 11 wins were more than the previous 3 seasons combined.
Right. That was a storybook type thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can they do it again? It's possible. Schedule is a lot more, like you said, a lot more daunting. That's September and September, the end of September and the first 2 weeks in October. Man, that's brutal though. Illinois, Iowa, Oregon, and Michigan State. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, honestly, if they go 2-2 in that, they've done a hell of a job.
I would say, yeah, you mentioned 8-4. I think that'd be a perfectly great season for them back to
Yeah.
back. You know, getting a solid bowl game.
Hmm.
They're just gonna have to. I mean, if they, I mean, I tell you what, if they make the playoff again, then
Oh my God, he's
Give Kirk Signetti the Coach of the Year award again.
absolutely.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
just the job that he's doing there, turning a
Because
program that
I
just
mean,
had never. I mean, never. You know, they had that brief flash with Michael Penix there, but even then they weren't, winning 10 games.
right.
It's just crazy, yeah. But like I said,
Absolutely.
much harder schedule this year, so
Yeah.
they should return to earth just a little bit.
A little bit. And the fact that no one's going to take them lightly this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, they're
Everyone
not
knows
getting
Kirk
caught off. Yeah.
Signetti, and they're going to, that they know what they want. Indiana's trying to become, and they're trying to not be the get added to that list.
Yeah.
So,
Let's move on. Let's see. USC Trojans. My little blurb I wrote for them is just like, yeah, when are they going to bounce back? When is Lincoln Riley going to fulfill his kind of the hype that since he was got the job there? Of course, won 11 games in his first year, but since 8-5, 7-6 last year, and you know beat LSU in the opener, but then lost at Michigan, lost at Minnesota, lost to Penn State, lost at Maryland. Just Maryland, terrible loss, a
yeah.
terrible loss. Lost at Washington, lost to Notre Dame. So they got to turn it around this year. Jaden Maivia, of course, another year older, with another year of experience, so that should help. They do get 16 starters back, including 9 on offense, so that's big. Maybe they do get surprised with that schedule. It's up and down. It has highlights, lowlights.
Right.
They do have to go at Illinois. They have to go at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, and at Oregon late in the year. But no Ohio State on this. No Penn State. They get Michigan at home. They get Iowa at home. Of course, in the year with rival UCLA, so the potential is there.
Potential is there. But I think overall, I mean, this is a huge season for Lincoln Riley.
No,
If
yeah,
he
this
if
is.
he doesn't if he let's say we get to November and they're not even in the talk for playoff or Big Ten
Mm-hmm.
anything, you have to think his seat is heating up a little bit out there.
Really hot. I mean, this is they should absolutely start 4-0. You know, they got Missouri State, Georgia Southern, at
Right.
Purdue, the Michigan State.
Absolutely.
They should absolutely be 4-0 head into Champaign for that
Yeah.
September
And
27th
they could
game.
get that win. That'd be huge for them. But
Yeah, you win that, and then you got, you only play 2 games in October, Michigan and at Notre Dame. They're surrounded by byes,
mm,
and then you can go into that November schedule, and at Nebraska, Northwestern Iowa, at Oregon and UCLA, and
oof,
you win 4 of those, even maybe 4-1 there. Then yeah, you're in the discussion for an at-large
right.
bid.
Absolutely. But man, they are that November is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, October does them no favors. I mean, Michigan and Notre Dame, but
Mm-hmm.
the bye week between, I would have to say they have uh, to make the playoff. Though I would have to think they have to win both those October games because I see two losses in. I don't know. I see two losses in November.
Yeah, it's definitely
I mean,
possible.
and but they have a lot of questions there. I mean, it's just crazy how things really have changed. I mean, like you said, that first year was so good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they then last year the starting game against LSU. I mean, then people were like, "Wow, is this USC team?" And then they turn around and lay duds.
Mm-hmm.
Go and lose at Michigan. At that point that was a terrible loss, considering
Yeah.
Texas had gone up there and slaughtered them. You know. Um, So who
No.
knows? I mean, I don't think anybody really knows what to expect from USC. Um,
No, yeah, it really is that loss in the Cotton Bowl to Tulane has really scrambled them,
yeah,
and they're trying to get back. But
right.
speaking of proud programs trying to get back to their what they believe is their uh, the level they should be at, Nebraska. Year 3 now for Matt Rule.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, a year that his teams make leaps.
Yeah.
And another team, 10 starters back in offense.
Yeah.
And then, of course, first full year with old Dana Holgerson as offensive coordinator. Interested to see how
Yeah.
that goes. Dylan Raiola, very talented freshman last year, had his moments, but he'll
Right.
be back with another year of experience. He's got his, you know, they did lose some production in receiving, but got some transfers in there. They definitely can get to double-digit wins this year. I feel like that schedule isn't terrible. It's definitely got some tricky spots, but I mean, they open with Cincinnati and Kansas City on a Thursday. They
That's
get
interesting.
Akron,
Yeah.
Houston Christian, then Michigan. They in September at home. They get Michigan State at home. They don't go a true road game until Maryland on October 11th. Then they go to Minnesota. Then they get Northwestern at home, USC at home, uh, at UCLA, a bye, at Penn State. Of course, that's the big one. And then Iowa at home. But, I mean,
Yeah.
look, no Ohio State, no Oregon, no Illinois, no Indiana.
So they get
Um,
a lot
hmm
of. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You would have to think. I mean, really looking at this schedule, the only game I could honestly say that I don't feel like they're going to win is at Penn State.
Yeah, this is a game with, you look at, they should beat Cincinnati, but let's say that's still a toss up. But you got
Yeah.
wins with Akron and Houston Christian for sure. They absolutely should beat Northwestern at home. They probably should beat Michigan State, but at least the discussion is that, like, yeah, like you said, there's only one game you look at and you go, like, yeah, they're not winning that.
And that'd
The
be at Penn
potential's
State.
here.
Yeah.
There's the potential's here, man. Matt Rule's a good coach, and
Yeah.
this, like I said, historically, this is the year that his teams make leaps.
All right.
So,
But
um,
the big thing with him is he ran into us last year, started off so well for them, and then they
mhm.
could not get, it took them so long to get that to get bowl eligible. They were sitting at
Yeah,
like five. It took them
5 and
forever.
yeah, 5-1, and then lost at Indiana, lost at Ohio State, lost at home to UCLA. That was a real bad one.
Right.
And then lost at USC before finally beating Wisconsin and getting
Yeah.
that bowl eligibility. And then they
Right.
won the bowl too, beat
Right.
Boston
That
College
was
in
the,
Pinstripe Bowl.
and
So
that was a big win. It was their first bowl game since 2016. Surprisingly enough, first win in I don't know how long. And since they won a bowl game. Um,
20, I think same year, 20 first win since 2015. They beat UCLA
2015.
in a bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so they definitely, I mean, and they have a great fan base. They're loyal. They show up no matter what they're looking like.
Yeah. How many consecutive sellouts? It's
Yeah,
always ridiculous when you hear
and
that
then
number.
so I mean,
Yeah.
they never died on their, they never given up on the team. They deserve a good season. The fans do. I mean, they loyal to no to a fault. Just about taking care of the games that you should win. You got to win those games. They've had issues before their coach. When what's his name was the coach,
Scott Frost.
Scott
Yeah.
Frost. Yeah, I mean they would always find a way to lose close games. Unfortunately, that's been the same story with Matt Rule. They've had a lot of close losses that you're like, oh my goodness. So I mean, they got to figure that out. They got to figure out how to win,
Yeah,
have
and
the
that's
confidence to
it. How to
close games
finish.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how to
how to
finish.
finish. And that's what
And like I said,
separates teams from being a okay to good to great, knowing how to finish.
but
They can
they
figure
got
that out. I mean, they'll be
yeah.
fine. I mean,
Like I
they're
said,
there.
I'm really interested to see how this offense looks with the first full year
Yeah.
of Dana Holgerson. A spring
Mhm.
practice, fall practice.
Yeah.
that's really could be a big surprise in the Big Ten.
Absolutely.
Moving on, these next two teams, I just wrote steady next to them. That's Iowa and Minnesota. I don't really have much more than that. We kind of they're going to give us anywhere between 7 and 9 wins. It feels
Hmm.
like Iowa does have a tough schedule for them. They have to go. Of course, they go at Iowa State, that rivalry week 2, and then they have road games in the conference at Wisconsin, at USC, at Nebraska. They get Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana all at home, but they still have to play them. It's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Minnesota, same thing. We kind of know PJ Fleck. He's going to give us somewhere between like 6, 7, 8, 9 wins.
Hmm.
This will be his 9th season there. Eh,
That's crazy. I swear it wasn't that long ago they was rowing the boat at was it
was it
Western
Western
Michigan?
Michigan? Yeah, Western
Yeah.
Michigan. Yeah.
It doesn't seem that long ago. My goodness.
I know, right? And that's another one. Their schedule is kind of, man, you look at it and, start with Buffalo and Northwestern State, and then a weird kind of interesting out-of-conference game
Cal.
at Cal.
Who knows?
And then your Big Ten skate, you got road games at at Ohio State, at Iowa, at Oregon, at
Mhm.
Northwestern late in the year. You
So
do
they,
avoid Penn State and Michigan and Illinois, but it's
they did,
you.
but they did them no favors as far as their road games this year. At Ohio State, at Iowa, at Oregon, three
Yeah,
known to be loud places. I mean, that's
yeah, it's tough. So like I said, it's steady. We're probably looking at another 7-6, 8-5 year.
yeah.
It's
And
what we get.
yeah, but PJ Fleck, I mean, I feel like with the hype that he had coming in, he's kind of underachieved based on what people really thought he would do. I thought it was kind of weird that he went to Minnesota, honestly. I thought his yeah, almost became a rock star type of Western Michigan. I mean, he went to a BCS game. They were, New Year's Six game, excuse me, and it was looking good. I mean, I don't know. I would have rolled the dice, stayed there a little longer, and seen what other bigger jobs may have come across. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
you
Took
wonder
a
if
risk.
maybe.
I thought going to Minnesota, but
Yeah, you wonder if maybe the strategy was there to go to a big conference team, but not
Yeah.
a huge blue blood. And
Right.
if you do well there, then maybe he was hoping to get the call from a bigger
Right. Maybe
school.
so.
But who knows? Maybe he just really likes it there.
Yeah.
I did want to go back real quick to Iowa, and one interesting thing about them: quarterback in Caleb Johnson gone, but Mark Gronowski of South Dakota State fame led them to back-to-back national titles, 49-6 as a starter.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yes.
It's like I said, he won't have Caleb Johnson to hand the ball off to, but I just think that's an interesting pickup. I'm
It is.
interested to see how that goes there
If
for
it,
them.
if it if it's
Yeah.
the it fits their program now, as
Mm-hmm.
far as that type of running back.
Staying in that kind of region with those teams, Wisconsin, of course, third year now for Luke Fickell. It was gone, a little disappointing. That really fell off last year. Of course, started. Alabama beat shit out of them up there in Camp Randall. Then
Yeah,
a
they
tough
did.
loss at USC, but then they won 3 in a row, and they were sitting at 5-2, and then just dropped off the map. Losses to
Yeah.
Penn State, Iowa, Oregon, Nebraska, Minnesota to end the season. Couldn't get that one extra win, so they got rid of Phil Longo toward the end of the season. They brought in, I've misplaced his name here, but they're going back to more of a
Wisconsin type offense.
a pro style zone run offense. Where is his name? Grimes is his last name. I'm trying to think of his first name, but likes to run that kind of zone run. Hard hitting.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big, highly touted guy, Dylan Jones, a redshirt freshman, is going to be toting the rock for them a lot this year. Of course, last year they brought in Tyler Van Dyke, real hyped. He got hurt early in the year.
He got hurt against us, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He got laid out.
They bring back 8 starters on defense, so I think that that side of the ball should be improved.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that schedule. You at Alabama, you got to come down to Tuscaloosa, at Michigan, at Oregon, at Indiana, at Minnesota. That's a hell of a road schedule, man. That's brutal.
Yeah.
And then your home games in the Big Ten aren't exactly cakewalk either. You do start with Maryland at home, so that should be a win. But then Iowa, Ohio State, Washington, Illinois.
Good God.
Man, that schedule is
I don't know.
brutal.
That's a tough. I don't.
If you can get to 8 wins with that schedule, I think that's a really good job, man.
That's a season.
Yeah, I think if they can get to 8 wins and look like Wisconsin again, then I think the people will be happy, and I think they'll have some momentum going for next year.
But if you look at their schedule, I could give them. Honestly, I'll give them
Where are
3.
the 8
I'll give
wins?
them three guarantees: Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee State, and I might give them Maryland. Outside of that, that's a hell of a schedule.
It's so tough. I mean, you're thinking at Oregon's probably a loss. At Ohio State's probably a loss at home.
At Oregon, yeah, definitely. Washington, who knows?
Yeah.
At Indiana,
Yeah,
I mean, you would have to think Indiana right now, but that's a long way
that's
away.
another who knows.
Illinois.
At Michigan, that's another one at first week of
And
October.
then
It's like
at the end of the year against
I don't know,
Minnesota, 2 teams that we don't know. you know,
it's
there's
such
no
I think like I said, I think if they get to 8 wins,
hell
it is
of a year.
major
Absolutely.
hell of a job for
Absolutely.
them. Let's go to another UW team, Washington. Last year, first year under Jed Fish, of course. Caitlin DeBoer leaving for Alabama. 6-7. Made a bowl, lost to Louisville in the Sun Bowl. I think they should improve a lot this year. They got only 12 starters back, but I just think they brought in a lot of good guys. I think they get the experience back that they had last year. They had a really tough schedule last year. It definitely has eased up a bit this year. It's still not, it's not a cakewalk, but it's it's winnable. You start the year at Colorado State and UC Davis, and then you go to
Yep.
Pullman for your the Apple Cup, and then your conference schedule. You get Ohio State to begin, tough, but it's at home at least. And when, like you said earlier,
Wow.
when you come out to Seattle, it's a tough place to play. Yeah, it's loud. But man, yeah, I mean, road games at Michigan, Wisconsin. They end the year with, of course, Oregon. Illinois comes to town. They have to travel to Maryland, which that should be a win. But it's
Are they?
no Penn
It's a,
State,
yeah.
no Indiana.
Yeah.
That's another team. If they can get to like 8 wins, I think they're probably happy. Maybe 9, if you say Ohio State and.
I mean, right now, if you look at it, Ohio State and
Mhm.
Oregon probably only 2 games. I'm like, they're not winning.
But even in that Oregon game, it's a
Right.
rivalry.
It's
It's
at
at
home.
home. It's so late
Yeah.
in the year. If they start clicking by
Right.
then,
But just off
Um,
names, that's the only 2 I'm like,
mhm.
probably not. But they do get both those games at home. So that's huge.
Yeah. So yeah, but interesting to see how they do in Jetfish year 2. I think they'll be maybe not maybe not double digit wins, but at least back to a winning record. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good too. That'd be
Yeah.
much. Yeah. I would think 8-4, 9-3 type.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe going. You would hope,
Yeah. No, for
going
sure.
into November, you're kind of at
Now 3
least
teams
on
that
that
kind of the
bubble.
bottom
I
of
mean, you
my
haven't been
wild card
eliminated from playoff
region,
talk.
guys.
You
If
go
you
into
wanted to make
November,
an
but
argument
still
that
on
they're
that kind
basement
of line
guys,
of possible playoff
I'd listen
team.
to.
I
But I
think it's
got
been a
Rutgers,
successful
Michigan
season there in
State, and
Seattle.
UCLA. For Rutgers, it's just my note for them. I just wrote they belong in the American. Uh, I just think they'd be so much better off as a program in like the American Conference, and I think they could win that. They could threaten for a playoff spot, as the qualifier there. I do think. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and they have some talent, but it's it's a tough schedule. I mean, good lord. I mean,
I mean, I was so high on them
road
last
games
year
in
going into the
conference at
season. They
Minnesota,
completely
at
disappointed
Washington,
me.
at Illinois, at Ohio
Yeah.
State.
Not
You end
far.
the year with at Ohio State and then Penn State. That's brutal. You do, their first 3 games are Ohio, Miami of Ohio, and Norfolk State. So you think they should start 3-0, but yeah, then you got Iowa and then at Minnesota right off the bat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's um,
Have to start off.
hmm
You have to start off 3-0. And then you have 3 games.
hmm
3 games. I would say toss up
yeah, that
games. Probably the underdog in all 3.
yeah, at
But
Washington,
if
Oregon.
they won a
Oregon's your
couple, I wouldn't
homecoming
be
game. That's
shocked. If they
not
lost
that's not
them, I wouldn't be shocked either.
no.
But man, but then
Yeah.
Oregon,
Who decided
Oregon.
that that was a good idea?
That's not fun. That's not fun at all.
Yeah,
Like who
that's
does?
so.
Why
If
is that
you're
your
a
homecoming
Rutgers
game?
fan, you're hoping that they
But
have 6 wins before that, because
yeah.
oof,
And then the end
could
the
be
season, Penn
a
State
brutal
and
end to your
Ohio State
season.
in back-to-back weeks.
Uh,
Jesus.
Up in East Lansing, it is year 2 for Jonathan Smith. Of course, came over from Oregon State. 5-7 last year. Really struggled in
Yeah,
conference, especially their only conference wins were
absolutely.
Iowa and Purdue, both at home. It is a team that just is really struggling to
Mhm.
recapture that 2021 magic. Of course, with Kenneth Walker just running all over people. Mm-hmm. they do get, you know, 9
Yeah,
starters back on
the
offense.
transfer.
That's a pretty big
They hit
deal.
the transfer portal
Um,
beautifully that year. Everything
Schedule
worked
isn't
out.
brutal, but
And,
it's not wide open for them to hop back up to that top tier. I don't think. You know, got road games at USC, Nebraska, Indiana, Minnesota, Iowa. Um, you have to play Penn State. You get them at home at least, but that's still tough. They end the season. The interesting one. They end the season with a Maryland game in Detroit. Um, like I said, they get Penn State and rival Michigan at home. But you know, I think if they can get back to a bowl, it's a good season.
mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So long,
now, yeah,
yeah,
I would say
very
so.
long.
Man, they're right now they're a long way away from that team that went to the playoff.
Mark D'Antonio, yeah,
And really, that kind of just shows you
no,
what
absolutely, yeah.
I can't. Was it Mark D'Antoni? Mark D'Antonio? I mean, might go
Mm-hmm.
down as one of the most underrated coaches ever because he had a
Yeah,
rolling. He had a rolling it.
yeah, for sure. Um,
He definitely had a
let's
rolling
move on
for
to
a little bit
UCLA
there.
now.
So
That third team I
had some
mentioned.
great
The big
seasons.
question with them
Oh,
is Nico enough? Is he enough to propel them back to a winning, you know, back to a bowl game, winning record? 5-7 last year, Deshaun Foster's first year. They did win 4 of their last 6 games, so that was, you know, something
right.
to build on. Um, it's definitely they are a team.
That's tough.
I think Foster's going to
Right.
have them playing hard. But you know, we mentioned like it's just like the Rose Bowl isn't really a home field advantage for them because people don't fill it out. It's they're one of the classic like big time underachieving programs in college football history. Just
Yeah.
you're in LA, you got those beautiful uniforms, you play your home games in a Rose Bowl, and they just are not. They should be so much better than they have been historically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Right. I mean, it doesn't help that
but
their
yeah, they get
crosstown rival
Nico
is one of the
from
most fun
Tennessee
programs
comes
either.
in after that saga. You know, is he the guy that can he really
But
do a lot for this offense? They don't have a lot of starters coming back. Yeah, yeah.
and that's one we won't know because I mean honestly was either a
Mm-hmm.
because I mean Nico was so hyped going into Tennessee last year and
Mm-hmm.
he had some moments but overall it was pretty overwhelming considering all the hype. Um, I mean they built on that running game and that defense and Nico would kind of seemed to be
Mm-hmm.
along for the ride more than leader of the
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying he really.
I will
At no
say, you
point
know,
were you
one
like, "Oh,
interesting
I'm
thing they
scared of
bring in
Nico."
Tino Sinceri, who was Indiana's offensive coordinator last year. That could be interesting. You know, he really maybe that's
Yeah,
something if it clicks between those two, that could be a big, you know, a beautiful marriage for them. If
right.
not, you know, they're headed for another 4 or 5 win year. Uh, s-
No.
Schedule wise, you know, it's tough. It's you know, you start with
Yeah.
old foe Utah. You go at UNLV and Den Mullen. You know they'll be hyped up to play a big conference team there. And yeah, they could see, and then they get New Mexico at home, which they should win them. And
I
then
mean,
you know your
honestly,
Big
they
Ten
could start
schedule, you
0
get road
2.
games at Northwestern, Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State, USC. That's tough. And then your home games are Penn State, Maryland, Nebraska, Washington. So the schedule is not really
Yeah.
doing the not really doing the Bruins a lot of favors. Yeah.
Not friendly. I mean, honestly, I look at this schedule
Mm,
and I see two games I feel good about.
mm,
I feel like Northwestern and I feel like New Mexico.
mm.
Outside of
That's
that,
tough. Yeah,
I
man.
don't know how I feel about the rest of the schedule at all. I mean, it's tough.
Mm,
I mean, they started off against Utah. I mean, We all know what Utah's been.
Mm-hmm.
They had a down year last year, but I'm sure that they're gonna bounce back. Like I said, UNLV. I mean, we're excited to see what Dan
Mm-hmm.
Mullen does there. I think we both expect good things. I mean, that's a tough game, and of course, no matter if you're a bit mid
Mm-hmm.
bottom of a power conference, nothing doesn't matter to
Yeah,
UNLV.
exactly. That's
They
that's
win
that's
that
a
game.
that's a
Hey,
game that
we just
they've
beat a Big
circled.
Ten team.
That's
We don't
you're
give a
gonna
shit
have
who
to
it
play
is. You
your
know.
A+ game because UNLV's bringing it. But yeah, I expect them to be more toward the
Absolutely.
bottom of the conference than the top. But if they can make a bowl game, it'd be a hell of a job by Deshaun Foster. I think. Yeah.
Um, that'd be a great job. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's still learning. I mean, last year was his first time as a head coach in a tough situation. I mean, he stepped in for as the coach after their,
Exactly.
Chip
Yeah.
Kelly thought the situation was so bad he would rather go
Yeah.
be an offensive coordinator.
Uh,
That kind of just shows
all
you
right.
what
Let's
things
move to the
were.
basement teams. I got three: Purdue,
So,
Maryland, Northwestern. Start with Purdue, of course. I think that's self-explanatory. They were the worst team in
yeah.
the conference last year. I don't really expect them to do anything to make that better. They did hire Barry Odom.
I
Yeah,
think,
I don't argue. Their
I
only
think
win
he's
last year
crazy
was
for
against
going
Indiana
there.
State. So
I,
an FCS team, and they
yeah. And we said the
that's
same
true.
thing.
That's
To
true.
be fair, we
Yeah,
did say the same thing about Kirk Signetti, and that worked out
yeah.
wonders. But
It's
I don't
it's
know.
they should
Purdue
improve a
is
little bit. Of
just
course, you probably get that bump, but they're still probably the basement dweller. Um, no, yeah,
absolutely
you look at
not
their
good.
schedule. They
They
got
haven't been good.
they got road games at Notre Dame, Minnesota, Northwestern, Michigan, Washington. They have to play Ohio State. They get them at home, but still they get Illinois at home, USC at home. And it's about the only positive you could say there's they avoid Penn
Jeez.
State and Oregon, but it's not. Yeah, it's not friendly. That
Yeah, I
October
don't know. It's gonna be a
that
bad.
stretch
Yeah,
from
they're bad.
October 4th to November 15th is you get Illinois at Minnesota at Northwestern, Rutgers at Michigan, Ohio State at Washington. I mean, goddamn, November at Michigan, Ohio State at Washington, and then you end with your rival Indiana. That's tough way to end the season.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
And shoot, honestly,
yeah,
outside of those first two games of the season, I don't know
yeah.
if you get any other
No,
wins.
it's tough.
Ball State and SIU
Yeah,
might
it's
be their
tough.
only
It's
two
tough.
wins,
Uh,
honestly.
let's move on. The Terps trying to bounce back after a down year for them last year, 4-8. They're usually a kind of an 8-9 win program under Mike Loxley there, but he even said in some interviews this summer that he lost the locker room last year. It was divided because of
Yeah,
some
that's
NIL
probably that's a
payment.
weird thing to say as
Yeah,
a
it
head
was. It was
coach.
an odd thing to say.
Even if it's true, you don't want. I don't know if you let that out there. I don't. It's
No,
not a good
no,
look.
yeah.
Let's just say that.
I think they're just hoping for the return of September, Maryland. They had that stretch when it was like they were
Yeah,
invincible in the month of September, man.
absolutely. Yeah, I remember 2 years ago we were hyped on Maryland. And that's how you talk about it was last season, and then man, I mean, last year was bad, but
Yeah,
this season I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, it's set up for them to. Um, I think FAU, Northern
There are
Illinois,
no,
Towson to start, and then they go at Wisconsin. That'll be a really interesting one. That one
they're
should.
end of September, and that's on October. I mean, so to go Wisconsin, Washington, Nebraska. Oof,
Yeah, 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 yeah. They get
that's
them at
tough.
home, but still, yeah, that's tough. Then you go out west, cross country at UCLA, and then that November
Who knows? Yeah.
Indiana at home, then at Rutgers, at Illinois, then you end with Michigan and at Michigan State. That game being played in Detroit, like I said. Um,
Uh, That's a lot. 5 November games. Wow.
yeah, right. It's a big November. Um,
Jeez.
they're just looking to bounce back. Get a little more uh,
If they,
cohesion with their roster.
if they could get to 6, I think if they get bowl eligible. I think that's kind of the top. That's kind of where you see it maxing out at, and that's not an easy ask. I mean, um, they have to start off 3-0. Just they have to.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that
There's no excuse for
they
not.
can't lose. They can't lose any of those games. Then damn, but at Wisconsin, that's gonna be
Yeah, it's
tough.
going to tell us a lot, and they're running out of freshman
Yeah,
quarterback Malik Washington. Of course, he's a highly touted guy, um,
yeah,
and Mike Loxley is no stranger to coaching freshman quarterbacks. He was OC for Juice Williams, for Jalen Hurts, for Tua. Um,
so he's done
yeah,
it. He's
he's
seen
done
it.
it, and if he can, he's a big guy, big arm, dual threat guy. Um,
Mm.
they get Nolan Ray back running the ball. He was one of their better
Mhm.
running backs last year. But it's about if they can get some cohesion in that roster, like you mentioned, the
Yeah,
lost locker room. If he can gel them all, they start strong again. They can definitely get back to the bowl, to a bowl
yeah,
game. But it's not going to be. I'm not looking for them to a couple years ago when we were excited they were our dark horse.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Didn't exactly work out as we had hoped.
no.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, if they get to a bowl game this year, I would say Mike Loxley's done a heck of a job.
Yeah, and then you do
Um,
wonder though. This will be his 7th season. If there's another 4-8 season, does his seat get hot for next season? Something to look
yeah,
forward to, or is there some grace because of how much turnover they
right.
have
Yeah,
in their? Because they only return 10
a-
starters, so that's
absolutely. And I always look certain programs, and I get it. Like, at no point should you accept losing.
mm-hmm.
But some programs just aren't on that level where they, after 2 seasons, can be like, "And we're tired of losing."
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you're Maryland. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I I mean, you know who you are. You have some history. You have
you have
some,
some history.
you've
You
had
also have
some.
some history of
There's some
screwing up
history.
good things. I mean, they had
Yeah,
Bear Bryant way back in the day, and after one season he left because of disagreements with the athletic director.
that's just wild. Oh my goodness,
That's
that's
wild.
wild.
Yeah. You had,
Wow.
when they had Ralph Friedge in there, the best run in school history probably. He was winning 10 games, winning shares of ACC titles, and same thing. The university president comes in and chases him off, and uh, the
I've
move
heard
to the
Ralph wasn't exactly the easiest guy to work with, but
maybe, but I
yeah,
mean if you're winning
you
10
got to
games
figure
at
it out.
Maryland,
You got
you
to
gotta
figure it out.
and
Yeah, you got to figure
yeah,
something out.
and then the move to the Big Ten has been good
Maybe you guys,
financially, but I mean,
it's been horrible in
yeah,
any other way.
yeah. I mean, is
And I
this
mean, it
you
doesn't
got you got to
fit
think like is this
academic
what
wise. It
they've
fits
done? All
outside
those
of,
September
yeah,
Marylands. If
yeah,
they're in the ACC where they're only tough games, or you gear up for Clemson, Florida State, and then
yeah.
after that you can win. Yeah, it's just
8,
interesting
yeah.
with Maryland. But let's move
Yeah,
on to
lot of decisions that haven't been, yeah,
yeah,
productive.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
just interesting. So we'll keep an eye on them
yeah.
this year, see how that goes. But let's move on to Northwestern. Year 3 coming up for David Braun. Of course, took over for Pat Fitzgerald. They could be a little bit better. Went 4-8 last year. Their wins were Miami, Ohio, Eastern Illinois, at Maryland, and at Purdue in overtime. They do get 15 starters back, 8 on defense, so that's good. But it's, man, I mean, it's brutal right away at Tulane to start the year.
Wow.
And then Western Illinois, and then Oregon is your first Big Ten game. It's at home, but still, that's ooh. And then you got road games at Penn State, at Nebraska, at USC, and at Illinois. You avoid Ohio State, but that's about it.
Huh.
Michigan comes to town. They do get Purdue at home, so that'll be a battle of the basement right there. But yeah, if they can, match last year's 4-8 total, that's probably good. Hell of a season if they get
Yeah.
the 5 wins, but I don't really
But
expect them to pull any upsets or anything.
it's still amazing. Was it 2 years ago when he had just an amazing run to end? Was it the 23 season? It was just an amazing. He just,
Uh, yeah, they went 8-5 in 23. They had a great COVID year. They were
okay.
7-2,
But I mean, but that was his first year
and made
after
the Big Ten title game
when
actually.
after they fired Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Oh, Fitzgerald, yeah,
I mean,
23, yeah,
everybody thought,
8
oh my
wins,
God,
yeah,
this is gonna be terrible, and he had a solid year for what it was worth. Um,
mm-hmm. Yeah, close
won their
strong
bowl
that year. They
game.
won 4 of their last 5 to make a bowl.
Yes.
They beat Utah, yeah, in the Las Vegas Bowl. So, they're actually on a little bit of a bowl winning streak here. It looks like they've lost at least their last
Yeah,
5
but I
bowl
mean, last
games.
year
I
was
think
tough.
interesting.
No.
But yeah, just not a lot of not a lot of expectations
Yeah.
coming from Chicago or Evanston, technically. But that is all of our Big Ten
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many?
that's it. That's
Say
a
how
lot
many?
of teams.
What is it? 18 teams now. The Big Ten with 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Big Ten plus 8.
What do you? As far as playoff team, what do you think? Three
But
this year, the Big.
I think 3 is probably a good baseline, and definitely would not be surprised if they
Yeah.
snuck a 4th in there. If say you get Ohio State, Penn
Right.
State, Oregon. Let's say they're the playoff teams. I could absolutely see
You're
either
right there.
Michigan or
Yeah.
Illinois,
Mhm.
having really good years,
Yeah.
especially if say Michigan beats Ohio State again, and that gives them to 9 wins or something. We talk
They have
about
all the
Illinois,
hype,
it's
all
set
the
up for
players
them, the
back.
schedule and everything. If they, I wouldn't be totally shocked
Or
if they
Good.
got 4 teams in,
Yeah.
but I think 3 is probably a good
for sure.
starting point for that.
Just
Any other closing thoughts on the Big Ten?
I mean, it's an interesting conference.
Nope. We
Yeah.
lost him.
I mean, as always, it's an
Oh,
interesting
he's back.
conference. They've spent a lot of their off season talking more about
Yep.
um, their 4 automatics more than talking football. It seems like. I mean, that's been their big thing, and Kirk Cinetti.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Lost him again. Oh, you're back again. You keep dropping out. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know
Nope.
what's.
You there?
Yeah, wait for a second, but
Okay.
you know, um, we know how good the Big Ten has been. I mean, they won 2 straight national titles. I mean, they're looking for a third, trying to take over the Kings in college
Mm-hmm.
football. People are starting to think that they've done that,
Mm-hmm.
taking the SEC's crown. So we'll see. Um, That'd be interesting. I think they're kind of top heavy this year. Have a And then they have a lot of teams that we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the middle of the Big Ten is always like that. It's a bunch of teams that you just don't know. I mean, they could go anywhere from 9 to 6 wins. I mean, that's a big difference, but they're just kind of they're there. The Iowas of the world are could easily go 9-3. They could easily go drop far.
Oh, we've lost Greg again. Having some connection issues. To expand on his point, yeah, they're definitely trying to become the kings of college football. Hard to argue that they at least have the throne right now with back-to-back titles. This year's title favorite in Penn State. Of course, they need to just get rid of the whole 4-4, 2-2, whatever stupid playoff thing they're trying to push. But yeah, though, this is one thing too. Actually, I hope Greg gets back on soon. I do want to talk about it. Some of this CBS schedule is going to be, you kind of. There's been a lot of jokes this off season about this is the reason Gary Danielson is retiring after this year is because that Big Ten TV schedule is just not looking great so far. I'm trying to pull it up here, see if I can get. Let's see if I can find it. It starts with Nevada and Penn State. Hey, got your back. Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to expand on your point, talking about the Big Ten, back-to-back titles, title favorite this year. So they've certainly earned at least the temporary crown for college football.
Right. For sure.
And then I was talking about how a lot of jokes from this summer have been made about the reason Gary Danielson is retiring is because he looked at that Big Ten on CBS schedule and said, "Oh man, get me the hell out of there."
Yeah, that's funny. Good stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Oh
let's.
man, but yeah, I mean,
The rest of the sports world. Of course, it was a Major League trade deadline this week. Eugenio Suarez going to Seattle. There's a few notable trades for sure. Nothing earth-shattering.
no.
But definitely some teams making some good moves. Phillies get that closer Duran. He comes in just throwing 103-mile-an-hour heat for them. They get a big win tonight.
Yeah,
Retake the
that
lead
was
in the
that was
NL
huge.
East. The Braves, for some reason, don't do shit. Don't try to trade away Ozuna Iglesias. Just
Ah,
do not understand what the hell they're trying to do there. They
yeah,
did, however, win the Speedway game. They played that game with the Reds at
right.
Bristol Motor Speedway, which was pretty cool.
Which was pretty cool setup. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Braves got them. So at least there's that, I guess. But yeah, other than that, sports world, we're starting to gear up for the last couple months of the baseball season. NFL training camps kicking off.
Of course,
Like
my Cowboys wanted to make noise, and Michael Parsons wants out. So I mean, that's just a
and
typical off season in Dallas.
I was about to say, the news out of NFL this so far is two big trade requests: Micah Parsons and
Yeah,
then Terry McLaurin up there in
yeah.
Washington. We'll see if either of those come to fruition. But maybe
I,
Jerry Jones. You laugh. Of course, you're not going to take this seriously, but you would think maybe he would learn from always shit talking his biggest stars. But it's Jerry, so
yeah,
no.
no, he's been doing it the whole time. I mean, this is
Yeah,
a man who shits out Jimmy Johnson and got him out of there, and things.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
So,
that's
so that's kind of where we're at. But generally, he talks big, and recently, with people has gotten soft at the end and gives them what they want. I mean, we saw it with CeeDee Lamb. We've seen it with Dak Prescott. Kind of and then he kind of folds at the end. So we'll see how that continues. But just another typical, camp for Dallas. Nothing. If you're a long term fan, I mean, that you're not really shocked by it at all. It kind of
yeah.
is what it is at this point. But I would expect Mike is still
Yeah,
a
let's see
Cowboy because
elsewhere
there's
in the
no way
sports
Jerry's gonna
world.
trade him.
Yeah. Yeah, elsewhere. That's kind of it. We're in that time of year. It's a little slow. Everybody's putting their
Yeah,
college previews out. NFL previews starting to come out.
yeah,
Fantasy leagues gearing back up again. You're going to be
yes,
joining
sir.
mine this year. That'll be yeah,
Yeah,
it's a fun one.
fun
I'm
one. It
still
looks
trying to
like.
get my first title in this league. I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Um,
I'm usually the guy that has an amazing regular season and the people get hurt for the right before the playoffs. But
it'll be fun.
uh,
Um, well, yeah, SummerSlam. We talked before we started recording. We both.
oh
Did you
man,
get? Did you get to watch both nights?
yeah. I we were traveling. I didn't watch last night live. I got some. Unfortunately, went to Facebook, saw some spoilers, but still watched it on the part of the trip we did today when I wasn't driving. So did catch this Saturday night. Some good matches there. Nothing. Well, of course, the main event was wild last night.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, the big CM Punk gets the big win, takes the title, and then Seth Rollins comes out and ditches the crutches, cashes in his Money in the Bank, takes the title.
Man, but the whole time I just felt like something was gonna happen with that, just because. I mean, it just seems so convenient. All of a sudden Seth got hurt right before. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then the way. I mean, honestly, you knew something was gonna happen because usually, if that's the end, they don't sit on them. Even if it's a dramatic win, they usually don't sit on them for 5 minutes. I
yeah,
mean, we're
yeah.
kind of looking to CM Punk forever,
Yeah,
and
it's,
he's just
it's
kind of
one of
chilling.
those which we got again tonight after
Yeah,
tonight's main event. Cody Rhodes
right.
takes the title back from John Cena. Good match, I thought. Good street
Great
fight.
match.
Yeah,
That was an awesome fun
yeah.
match.
Cena really brought it back. Of course, he kind of
Yeah,
turned back face a little bit, I guess, after Cody Rhodes
I thought
demanded the
I thought
real
that
John
was
Cena.
dumb.
Yeah,
Really
the whole
dumb.
thing has been poorly done. The heel turn.
Because really, what was the heel turn? I mean, it could have been epic.
Yeah, it was
If
just
he
it
had,
was weird from the
if
get
he,
go with the whole Travis
if he had,
Scott stuff and
it
The Rock
was.
just disappearing and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it could have been really, it could have been something really fun. It wasn't nearly what it should have been. He never changes. It was fun to, he could talk about ruin wrestling and everything, but he didn't change his shirts. Nothing changed. I don't know. It
yeah.
could have been really good.
It was weird, and then of course, same thing. The camera kind of lingers on him a while, and it's a little bit of
Yeah.
him, last SummerSlam saying thank you,
Yeah.
but
So I mean, it made sense.
you just got sitting there, and I was just like, man, something else is gonna happen here. And in the back of my head, I was like, oh shit, this is where they bring back Brock Lesnar. And then like the rest of my brain was like, no, it'll be maybe The Rock or
Yeah.
just some younger heel looking to make a name is going to attack him, or something.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Brock Lesnar's music hits, the place
Brock Lesnar.
explodes. Michael Cole goes ape shit. I think he actually said
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, he did.
And they did what a lot of people thought that WWE wasn't going to touch him because of his part in the allegations with Vince McMahon
Yeah.
and all that.
Has he been fired by THQ, hasn't he?
And that's the TKO.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
THQ.
THQ's the game.
Yeah, used to make those fire ass Raw
Yeah.
vs SmackDown
That's
games back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's even a story earlier this week that he was on their like absolutely not banned list, whatever.
Yeah.
And so now for them to, like I said, with the whole his part in the Vince McMahon lawsuit and those terrible allegations, you figured even with Triple H and being and Dana White, of course, having his hand in TKO and that whole thing, they're buddies with the Trump administration, all that. You figured they would still stay away from Lesnar
That.
and
Yeah.
connections to Vince, but no.
They went right into it.
Yeah, Lesnar comes back, walks down the ring, stares down, hops inside, F5, thank you and good night. So it looks like we're
Yeah.
going to get one last
Cena.
Cena and Lesnar match at some point. Yeah, I got to go
Seems like
back
he
and
always
I
kind
got
of
to
got
go
his
back
ass
and
kicked.
watch it. Yeah, I got to. Yeah, I got to go back and watch a few matches. I missed like the TLC match from earlier
Uh,
tonight, which I
yeah,
heard
that
was
was tag,
just
tag match was awesome.
insane. I want to go back and watch the women's match from last night. In the women's tag team match, I didn't get to see that
Yeah,
either.
the women's tag team was pretty good. I was kind of disappointed with the Jade.
Mm,
I mean, it went. I don't know. Wasn't what I was hoping it could have been.
mm-hmm,
Um, I like the match tonight for the women's title was really good. I didn't like how it ended, but overall the match was really good.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Um,
Overall, I thought it was a hell of a SummerSlam
yeah,
compared to what we got at WrestleMania. I mean, it
first
wasn't
two
a
night
big,
SummerSlam.
yeah.
Well, there were what, 6 title matches tonight.
Mhm.
You know,
Now I was
possibly
shocked that
AJ.
not a lot of title changes, which was interesting.
No, yeah. Let's see what Cody Rhodes, and then
And Cody Rhodes kept
was that it? Was that the only title change?
no,
Um,
Cody
I guess, and then
Rhodes.
CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
The women's tag team title.
That's right. Yeah, Liv Morgan and Charlotte
Yeah,
won that. Um,
and that, I mean I mean they've done a good job with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. The kind of that. Oh, we're not
yeah,
friends. I
I
mean,
thought
it's been a kind of a funny storyline.
they've done some good work.
Yeah,
Yeah, but of course the big stories coming out. You know, Seth Rollins cashing in, and then the
yeah,
return of Brock Lesnar, of course.
yeah.
Maybe that will be at the Paris
Which
event at the
come
end of this month. Um,
right, because of
yeah.
course we'll see Cena and
Mm,
Brock Lesnar at some point. I don't know where we'll get that, but you would think you'd see that one more time. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with, where. I also want to see kind of what they do with Gunther. I mean, he had the
yeah.
title no time. We've had some real quick title changes recently. I mean, Jay had the title for no time. Then he loses it back to Gunther. He loses pretty quickly. Um, and CM Punk, of course, CM Punk had the title for 5 minutes, the shortest title reign in WWE history, pretty much.
Yeah.
So he,
Uh,
so I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
But
so
yeah.
that it'll be interesting to see what happens there. With Seth Rollins as a champ. And we'll see what happens to Cody. I mean, back to Cody being a champ. I wasn't really shocked. I thought Cena was gonna hold on to it for a little bit longer, but I guess that kind of helps out with the storyline with Brock more than anything.
Yeah. I think. I personally thought that the whole old Cena thing was gonna last, and I thought there was gonna be some type of shenanigans where he kind of stayed heel toward the end. Yeah, I didn't know if
I
it.
thought that's what I was hoping for, but he didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know if it
I
was gonna be
know
interference or like The Rock coming back or something, but it'll be
it was
interesting.
just a
And you know
straight
what?
up. It was just a straight up really good match. Like
Yeah.
people are saying, it's probably John Cena's best match in 10 years, from top to bottom. I mean, obviously he didn't. I mean, it was a street fight, so he could do what he wanted. But I mean, really, no cheap things out of the ordinary for a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he didn't. At the end, him and Cody were cool.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't any problem. And then he got laid out again. But overall, I thought it was a really good, SummerSlam. We got a lot of storylines, a
Yeah,
lot of places
exactly.
we could go with stuff.
Yeah,
And I
they
would assume,
a good setup to
of
go.
course, absolutely. I mean, of course, we'll have CM Punk, Seth Rollins set up probably up until WrestleMania, I would assume, because we have to have CM Punk probably go win like Royal Rumble or something to get
Mm-hmm.
his match at WrestleMania to get his revenge.
Uh,
Then I would assume that's where we're headed. But
yeah, we'll see.
and I also want to see like where is I mean what is Roman Reigns? He's kind of almost turned into a mid tier guy.
Yeah, definitely interested to see his role. I heard he was it was that was a fun match to start off tonight. I didn't like I said I didn't see the beginning of tonight, but yeah, it's interesting to see his role going forward. And does he yeah kind of stay in that mid card? Does he do the family thing for a while? Are we headed toward? I guess they did War Games last year, so we'll probably get a different. Won't be a Bloodline
Right,
War Game this
right.
year, but
But I
um,
mean, he was impressive last night with with Jay. I mean, he
mm,
went. I mean, he flew out of the ring and not laid both
mm-hmm,
Braun and um yeah. So I mean,
mm-hmm,
he looked. It was impressive, but yeah, it's kind of changed. I mean, he's not in. I mean, he's not the head of anything anymore. He's
yeah.
almost a good guy right now. You know, him
You,
and Jay are good. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you wonder if I wonder, looking ahead to War Games, which will be in a stadium for the first time, I believe, Survivor Series
Yeah,
out in San
it's going
Diego.
to San Diego to Petco Park.
Yeah,
So that's
I
interesting.
wonder if it'll be some sort of like Seth Rollins's little stable. If maybe they add a couple guys or recruit guys just for that match versus like a
Yeah,
team of like Roman, Punk, and
Roman
Jay and
Punk, Jay.
some of those guys against Rollins.
Right. Yeah, because and the weird thing though is last year, of course, what's his name was part of the Solo Sikoa's team, and now he's on Seth Rollins' team. So
Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I thought what I saw was
yeah,
pretty fun.
yeah. But I mean, it was a good 2 night event. Lot of good matches there. I thought even the the Dom match was pretty great considering he 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 pulled a Eddie Guerrero type move with the boot coming off when he was in the finisher.
Hmm.
That was pretty great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be interesting to see what they do with going into Paris World Games.
Hmm.
And then we'll get back into Road to WrestleMania again. So
Yeah. And then meanwhile, over in AEW, they're firing too. They come off their biggest show of the year a few weeks ago,
yeah,
and Hangman Page is your champ. They finally he beat John Moxley twice. Beat him in a quick rematch too.
yeah,
So interested to see what they do with that Death Rider storyline and where they go
for
there.
sure,
Um, but yeah, and then another good time to be a wrestling fan right now. Of course, I also
absolutely.
understand if some people are uncomfortable with Lesnar coming back and some of the things that,
Yeah,
and I get it.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but honestly, and there was a time that he could come back, it would be right now
Hmm.
because America's in a weird spot. So,
That's to say the least. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if there was a time when it would be not 100% frowned upon, or
Hmm.
people would give it a, it'd be right now. So, him coming back right now, I'm not overly shocked,
Yeah.
considering some of the connections there. But anyway, leave it like that.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, anything else in the world of sports you want to touch on?
No, I mean, I think we're getting to a good, just a couple weeks now from college football. So I mean, man, we're getting there. I did. I was back in Tuscaloosa for a couple of days, so I did catch. 'Cause, it was only in theaters for like a day or two. I did catch that.
Oh,
Nothing but a winner. That
yeah,
was a pretty epic,
yeah.
pretty epic.
I saw you mention and seeing that in Tuscaloosa too, so
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, that was
Um,
pretty cool. It was a an epic movie there. Of course, a lot of Bear Bryant's former players, Nick
hmm.
Saban's former players, just talking about just their time, and so that was a pretty cool,
Hmm.
pretty cool event there. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that eventually it'll be out if you're a college football fan or Alabama fan.
Hmm.
I mean, at some point, I'm sure it'll be on some. I'm not sure where it will go streaming wise, but it'll be somewhere. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. Whether you're a football historian or love Alabama, I think you'll enjoy it. A lot of
Nice.
history there.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to being able to watch that one.
Absolutely.
I actually, it's funny, we talking about movies. I actually got to the theater for the first time since, I want to say, 21.
Oh, wow.
Definitely since my son has been born this week. I had a
Yeah.
AMC gift card I've been sitting on for a while, and finally just
Nice.
this past week had the wife had a day off, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, you mind hanging out with the kid? And I went to see the Fantastic Four movie, which I really liked.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's finally a proper
Nice.
movie for the first family of Marvel,
Nice.
because they've had some bad ones, and it's kind of a good reset for the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've heard, I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, but I know some people really like that. And then
Nice.
same thing with Superman. I've heard that a lot of people are enjoying that new Superman movie. So
That's good.
good
They needed
summer
that.
for superhero movies, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's really nice to see a
Nice.
good Fantastic Four movie. I love the way they did Galactus in the movie. He's such a
Mm-hmm.
great bad guy, and then yeah. So and then of course like Marvel does,
Did
they
you
have
see the
a little stinger to set up
nice?
going forward. Yeah.
Did,
So
did you see the meme about of of wrestling with CM Punk? He looked like he should his outfit he came out and looked like he should have been part of the
fantastic.
Fantastic Four
And
for
that
being
might
a
be
4 minute champ.
that the color wise, that might have been purposeful by him. He's
Yeah.
a big comic guy
Right.
himself, so who knows?
Yeah.
And
They
he's
said it fit
always
well because he's about to champ for 4 minutes there.
size messed up. But yeah, no, I liked it.
Uh,
I thought it was a good movie.
that's good.
I really enjoyed it.
I have to check it out.
Yeah, but as always, folks, thanks for listening. Tell your friends about us. Tell your rich friends about us. Subscribe, rate, like us, all that good stuff. Check out the AlabamaTake.com for all the family of podcasts and some good writings. I know we got some good writings this week. I do know Taking It Down, they're on break until, I'm going to say maybe a couple weeks from now, mid-August. So they'll be back talking TV and stuff. Usually we do our challenge coverage. That started back up this week, but Blaine and I actually haven't even talked about doing anything yet, so I don't know if we're doing that this year or not. But if not, that's fine. Yeah, check out everything there. Of course, if you want to throw us a sponsorship, you got a business itching to spend some money, holler at us. We'd love
Absolutely.
love to put a little bit more into the show. Keep your eyes peeled for our socials. I haven't set it up yet, but once I'll look into doing our usual yearly college pick'em, of course.
Nice.
And then what was I going to say? Next week we'll be back with. You want to do ACC next week?
Yeah, we'll do ACC.
There we go. We'll go ACC. Another big 17 team conference, whatever they have, ridiculous.
And coast to coast.
Yeah, coast to coast conference. Yeah. So we'll be back with that as usual. Keep it done up real good yourselves out there, folks. Greg, buddy, I'll see you then.
Yes, sir.